So I just want to welcome everyone to our AMA with Mariah Magazine. We are very excited to have you here. For those of you who don't know Mariah, she is an SEO expert and she's helped hundreds of clients and students and website owners get their websites and content on page one of Google. And she can do it sometimes in less than 3 weeks, depending on the case. And she doesn't believe in just following your like standard best practices that everyone else is doing. Okay. Mariah has a different strategy where she looks for gaps in the market and she helps her clients fill them in. She has been featured everywhere from Business Insider to Entrepreneur. She gives interviews on podcasts. She does workshops. She goes to lots of events, and her goal is to support online business owners like us. So without further ado, I'll hand the mic over to you, Mariah.
Yay. Thank you so much for the introduction. Okay, so I am just going to start sharing my screen here. Sometimes I talk too quickly and then the words melt together. Okay, so can you guys see my slides?
We can, yes.
Okay, lovely. Let me move this screen so I am not distracted by my very messy desktop. Okay, so today we are going into keywords and search intent and why they matter. And then we got a very lovely intro. And so I'm just going to build off of that a little bit. So I'm Mariah. I'm an SEO consultant and educator. I'm obsessed with SEO, but I'm even more obsessed with educating on it. And so I've been in business since 2015, which is going to be 10 years next month, which is absolutely bananas. And I started out as a website designer and developer. And I was in school online for website development, and then they were teaching me table layouts, which was like already outdated by that point. And so I have this like weird rebellious energy where I was like, I could just do this myself. Like, I'll figure it out. So I ended up quitting school and actually quit my full-time job within the same month. And I was like, I'm just going to figure it out. I ended up creating an online HTML portfolio, like straight up HTML. I ended up landing a paid internship on Craigslist with um, like two guys that were 4 years older than me, like at a website design agency. It was one of those things where like the agency seemed like on the front end of the website, like super posh and like super professional. And then it was literally just like two dudes hanging out in like the back of like an office type thing. And so one of the owners was a WordPress website designer. He ended up teaching me everything that he knew about WordPress website design. And then I started my own business and would continue to consult with them a little bit. And after working in like on websites for probably like 2 years, I kept having clients come to me over and over and over again. And they were like, okay, girl, like the website is launched, looks great, love it. But like, how do we get found? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't have a clue. My job is technically done. Like, I created the website. I'm here if you like need support changing fonts and like changing colors or adding content. But I didn't know how to get found on Google. And so this was also in the beginning stages of business where I had more time than money. And so I was diving into the online space. I was joining Facebook groups. I was connecting with other business owners. And I realized that I was like really good at learning information and then being able to break it down in a really easy to understand way. And so I started blogging. So then I started blogging, and then I was running into the same issue that my clients were having. How the heck do I get this stuff found on Google? And so I was like, okay, I guess this is a sign I have to dive into SEO. But when I was diving into SEO, there was two main issues when I was trying to DIY. It was most of the content was created either by SEO agencies like trying to be vague and overwhelming so that you just hired them on retainer. Or it was advanced SEO people talking to other advanced SEO people managing websites of like tens of thousands of pages. Neither of them were me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to break this stuff down, put it back together in a way that makes sense for me. So I ended up doing that. I ended up getting a blog post on page one of Google, and it was driving hundreds of email subscribers to my list every single month, which was wild because I was brand new, like in the business space. I was like, I thought growing an email list was hard. And I was like, but here's the juice here. It's SEO. So that's why I became obsessed with SEO is like there is always something to tweak, always something to experiment. And that's why people hate SEO. That's why I love it. But I love being able to break it down in a way that actually makes sense. That's logical. That's practical. That doesn't talk about like the techie jargon stuff that I feel like a lot of people do. So that's my spiel. That's my approach to things. And so let's just get into it. So, why are keywords important? When search engine bots crawl your website, and I say search engine bots, AI bots, like anything that's crawling the web, they pick up on context clues about what each of your pages are about and your entire website's about. These context clues revolve around the words that are on your website. So that means that keywords are the piece of the puzzle that connect your website to people's searches. Keywords are the middleman here. So if you don't get your keywords right, the search engines, AI bots are going to have a hard time understanding your website. And if they can't understand it, you're not going to show up in search results. You're not going to show up in AI overviews. You're not going to get recommended by ChatGPT, and your ideal people won't actually be able to find you. So let's dive into the basics of keywords. So WTF are keywords. And so the word keyword can feel a little misleading because a keyword is not limited to a single word. A keyword is technically, it's the words and phrases that people type into a search engine to find information on a specific topic. So keywords, queries, kind of similar, slightly different, but we're just going to call them keywords for now. And so any term used in a search via search engines, regardless if it's a single word or a long phrase, can be considered a keyword. And there are two types of keywords. So there's seed keywords, and seed keywords are primary keywords. So this is the words that consist of like one or two words. And this is usually, I find, that what most people think of when they hear the word keyword. So it could be SEO, that's a seed keyword. SEO consultant, that's a seed keyword. Then we have long tail keywords, and long tail keywords are longer and more specific keyword phrases that typically consist of 3 or more words. So these are the more specific ones, like organic SEO consultant. They are more specific, and I'm not going to get ahead of myself. So they're more specific and have longer words kind of like attached to them. And I do find that as users, we are more often searching long tail keywords because they give more specific results. So I feel like a couple years ago, everybody was like, I want to show up on page 1 for SEO. And it's like, that's not specific enough to be the best solution to the problem. So even if you show up on page 1 for SEO, it's not really going to lead to too many conversions because you don't really know what that person is searching for. Long tail keywords are more specific, and therefore you can kind of pinpoint more directly where they are in the buyer's journey, and then you can create content that really correlates with that. And so there are two main metrics to pay attention to when doing keyword research. Number one is search volume. So how many times is this specific keyword being searched in this specific database every month? So if you're kind of new to keyword research and search volume and this data, just know that every major country has its own database. So when you're searching and you're seeing numbers show up, let's say in SEMrush, that number is based on usually like the United States database or the Canadian database or the Mexico's database and stuff like that. And then there is like a world option, but usually you want to use the database that correlates with where most of your people are coming from. And then the other metric to keep in mind is competition or keyword difficulty. So how difficult it would be to start ranking on page 1 for this specific keyword. And so the competition and difficulty, that score is out of 100. And the lower the number, the easier it's going to be to rank for. Okay, so we're going to walk through an example here. So coach is an example of a seed keyword. So right here, we can see the keyword, and this is just a screenshot from SEMrush, and we can see 1.2 million people, that's a lot of people, are searching this specific word every single month. Okay, so that's a lot. And a lot of people would be like, that's incredible. I want to get found for 1.2 million people. But we have to keep in mind the other metric here, which is keyword difficulty. So this number is 97. That means that it's impossible to show up for. That's pretty brutal. It would either take a very strategic, massive website or a very long time in order to rank for. But if we compare that to business coach for online business, this is an example of a long tail keyword. 170 searches a month with only an 18 keyword difficulty. So although when we compare these numbers, you might be like 170, like that's it. We have to think about the users that are searching for these. The users that are searching for these are further along in the buyer's journey. And so there might only be 170 people searching for that, but they might be the perfect fit for the solutions that you offer if you are a business coach for online businesses. And so these people are going to be more likely to convert. And if I think of my business, if I had, let's say, even half of this, which is, I can't even do math in my head. Let's just say 90 people finding me on Google, reaching out like 90 leads a month, that would be way too many for me. I don't want 90 leads a month. And so we have to consider that when we are looking at the monthly search volume, and don't get turned off just because it feels too low for you. And then we also have to consider, which I kind of already gave away the answer, but which one would make sense to target on a business coach's website? Would it be coach, or would it be business coach for online business? If we just look at the search volume, we'd maybe choose coach. But if we also consider that keyword difficulty, business coach makes more sense. And so we can get data like this from SEO keyword research tools, and they're really helpful because they can help you find different keywords and help you make more decisions based on data. But we have to remember that they are just tools. They are not your audience. Which brings me to the other point that we are going to be talking about. There is another thing that we have to consider when doing SEO keyword research that most people overlook. And if you know the title of this workshop or of this video, this is not a surprise at all. Search intent, aka user intent. They're kind of used interchangeably, slightly different, but search intent. So search intent is also becoming increasingly more important with AI. I don't think that you can BS SEO anymore. And a lot of people have been able to get results by kind of doing like best practices, but like kind of manipulating things a little bit and still get results. I don't think that that's going to be possible in the age of AI anymore, because search intent is going to be increasingly more important. So what is search intent? It's the user's intention behind searching the keyword. So what's the main goal that a user has when typing a query, typing a keyword into a search engine? What kind of information are they looking to find? Does a user want to buy something? Does a user want educational information? Are they looking to find a company or a person to hire? Why are they searching for that keyword? We can't just like do keyword research and we see a list of keywords with, oh, that one sounds fun, or like, oh, I like that this one has like 5,000 monthly search volume, and then just decide to target it on our website without going any deeper. We can't do that anymore. We can't show up on Google. We can't get recommended by AI just because we want to. Everybody wants to. That's not deep enough anymore. And so how do we figure this out? Like, how do we figure out what the heck the search intent is? The easiest way is to use an SEO keyword research tool. So SEMrush is my personal favorite. And this is just like a cute little screenshot. Like when you're using their keyword magic tool, you'll see the intent column, and then they have 4 options. So they have commercial, informational, navigational, and transactional. And I just put like what they mean right here. So informational keywords, the user wants to learn about something. So informational, educational. Navigational is the user is trying to find a specific page or website. So my business name is Mariah Magazine. An example could be if somebody typed in Mariah Magazine course login. They are looking to specifically be directed over to my course login page, or Mariah Magazine contact. They want to directly be taken to my contact page. That's an example of navigational. Then we have commercial. So the user is researching options before making a purchase. And so this could be like if you're looking for a plumber, you could type in like plumber services, Buffalo, New York. That's a commercial keyword. There's also transactional. So the user wants to take action, like completing a purchase. So if you're an e-commerce shop, if you're selling things online, transactional are going to be like your favorite keywords on the face of the planet. So a transactional keyword could be like black high heel shoes, could be a transactional keyword. But you can see here that keywords can have different intents. They don't just have to have one. You can have a combination of them, which I think is really, really important. But there's another way to find this out. Go to Google and Google the keyword. So you don't have to use an SEO keyword research tool if you really don't want to. A lot of people don't want to pay for them. I say SEMrush is my personal favorite. It's expensive, I also am in it every single day, so it makes sense. There are other SEO keyword research tools, Uber Suggest, Key Search. There's keywords everywhere. Like there's different ones that hit different price points. Some of them have intent, some of them do not. If they don't have intent, use Google to get, yeah, go to Google and Google the keyword, use Google to get on Google. Even if you're using a research tool like SEMrush, Googling the keyword is always important. And so we're going to look at a example here. So, coach, let's pretend that I didn't care at all about the monthly search volume and the keyword difficulty. And so let's go to Google and type in coach and we'll see what shows up here. Coach bags, literally the Coach brand. So if you're a business coach and you Google this, not only is the keyword difficulty too high, but like the intent makes no sense. This is literally like, what does Coach do? Where's the Coach outlet? Like it's for somebody that's looking to buy a Coach bag. So if you're an online business coach, targeting the keyword Coach doesn't make sense. But let's Google business coach for online business and see what shows up. Already we can see there's a Google ad here. One-on-one CEO coach, business coaching, an overview of like what a business coach does, a business coach Instagram, how much should I pay for one, a strategic coach, so somebody offering coaching services, a digital coaching platform, small business coaching services, like there's YouTube videos about this. So you can tell that this one probably has different intents, but I would say most of them are really under the commercial option. So these are people looking to hire or find a company, either to hire a business coach or to become a business coach for online business owners. And so this search intent matches so much better than coach. So if we combine all of these metrics that we have to juggle when making a decision on how do we choose the perfect keyword, we have to keep in mind monthly search volume, keyword difficulty, and search intent. And so and the other reason why it's important, even if you're using a keyword research tool like SEMrush, it's important to still Google the keyword because you might see, oh, it's commercial. So yeah, that makes sense for me. Yeah, but go to Google and Google it. I had a client and she was a public speaking coach and she was like, Mariah, I'm going to show up on page 1 for powerful speaker. I said, cool, let's Google it. Car audio and stereo speakers show up. So respectfully, no girl, we don't want to show up for powerful speaker. And here's the thing. We could have put powerful speaker all over her homepage, all over her website, yada, yada, yada. She would have never showed up for powerful speakers. So she would be looking at her Google Search Console. She'd be looking at her keyword rankings and she might be like, Mariah is a liar. Like, SEO sucks because like I am not showing up for this. But she was never going to, because even if the monthly search volume is good, even if the keyword difficulty makes sense, even if it was, let's say, a commercial or transactional keyword, if we only use that data without Google searching it, we might not have seen that, no, it actually doesn't align. That's why it's so important. So we ended up targeting, I think it was like become a powerful speaker or very literal public speaking coach. I think that in SEO, we like want to be cute and clever and creative. SEO was so logical and so literal that it's painful. Sometimes it is so painful when you're trying to come up with messaging and stuff like that. But I try to tell my clients, like, you can target a keyword and your messaging and your positioning and your clever and witty content around it, like become a powerful speaker, that information can still be within your website. That's your messaging, that's your positioning. When somebody goes over to your website, like let's say that you start showing up for a public speaking coach, when people come over to your website, they're going to read the rest of the content on your page and be like, oh my God, this is literally what I've been looking for. I love the vibe that they're giving. I love the messaging. This person feels like an incredible option for me. So it's like, I see like websites and web pages with having different elements that make up good SEO. It's the SEO keyword and keeping all of this in mind, the monthly search volume, the keyword difficulty, the intent, Googling it to make sure it makes sense for your industry. But then we also have positioning and we have copy. All of these support the SEO keyword, but to me, they're not one and the same. So it's like, think of SEO as being that literal logical words that kind of people are typing in when maybe they don't know your industry. They don't know the jargon that you use. Like my people would probably put in like SEO consultant or SEO strategist? Are they going to put in like organic search engine optimization? Like, are they going to add these other more jargony words like technical SEO consultant? I don't know if they know that there's a difference between a technical SEO person and like a regular SEO person. So it's keeping all of that in mind when you're trying to choose your keywords, but always Google it, even when AI mode rolls out. So as you could see from my results, I actually don't get access to AI mode right now with my paid Google plan. But when AI mode rolls out, it's going to be very similar. You're going to have to like search in AI mode, see what they're popping up, see what websites they're linking to. How you use Google to get on Google is going to continue to evolve as Google evolves, but the foundations are the same because that's what SEO people do. We literally see like what's working and then we move backwards from there. So you as a user, you working in SEO, you can do the same thing. And so when it comes to choosing a successful SEO keyword, keep in mind, people are actually searching for it. So a good monthly search volume. It's possible for you to rank for a low-ish keyword difficulty score. The user intent or the search intent aligns with your content. Does it actually make sense? And here's another one that I didn't really get to talk about, but your content is actually helpful for the keyword no BS for real. In the age of AI, we can't BS this stuff anymore. We can't manipulate search engine results. AI, or how I like to see websites moving forward as the training manual about your business for AI. It's going to scan the content on your website to pick up the patterns, pick up the context clues, pick up the intent. It can better understand the patterns and the intent of all of this. And so it's going to know, hey, yeah, you're a business coach for online business owners because you have blog posts that support that. Your homepage, your services pages, all of this support it. And so you have to keep in mind, does this actually make sense for my business? And not just making me show up because I want to, because it's quality over quantity now. And so that's essentially the T. That's all I really have time to dive into when talking about keywords and search intent. And so I do have a free offer in case you were interested. So I get asked all of the time in terms of like my workshop students, my clients, and my YouTube subscribers. They want to know what SEO tools I recommend. And so I put together this freebie, the expert list of SEO tools for keyword research. So my top tools for YouTube videos. So that's my main traffic driver for YouTube is SEO. I do keyword research and for blog posts. So it's going to dive into the free Google tools that you need set up, my favorite tools for keyword research, my favorite tools for YouTube SEO and getting your videos found, and extra tools for blog posts and website optimization. So you can snag that at mariahmagazine.com/SEO-tools, and it should lead you right over there. And then in terms of connecting with me, my website is my home base. You can find all about me at mariahmagazine.com. If you want helpful tutorials that are bite-sized, actionable in terms of SEO, website tech, tools and software that I use, you can go and search Mariah Magazine over on YouTube and I should pop right up. If you hang out on Instagram, I prefer hanging out in the stories and in DMs, so you can follow me over there on Mariah Magazine CO. And if you are on LinkedIn, it's Mariah and my very Polish last name, Leszewski, and I should pop right up right there. So that's it. That's the T. That's what we got. I use
Th-
keywords everywhere. I use key search. Yeah. I have friends that are obsessed with key search. I will say that like SEMrush is my favorite tool just because I like the depth of data and the access to different tools to be able to use, but it's very expensive. But a lot of people don't know they have a free plan. They have a free plan and you can get access to a ton of here, let me put in SEMrush. They have a free plan and it's kind of hidden, but I wrote a blog post that I'll put in terms of how to access it because like, I'm gonna put it in the chat because you're allowed to do like a full SEO audit. You can do keyword research, I think up to 10 searches a day. The SEO audit is in depth and absolutely incredible. You can track your visibility for, I think, up to 10 keywords. Like the free plan is pretty generous in terms of things. So that's also just my favorite tool.
Excellent. I wasn't aware they had a free version. I just,
Because they are
yeah,
sneaky.
yeah.
You
Does that
literally
just
click on like
last
start a free trial. What was that?
does that just last for a few weeks or something, or is that
No, no, this is the
continuous?
thing. They have a free plan that will last like as long as you want to use it, but they never market it. And they only have buttons on their website that are like the 14-day free trial or the
Right.
7-day free trial,
Yes.
which if you use my affiliate link, you can get 14-day free pro trial. So like my link extends it by 7 days if you want to. But if you click through my blog post and my video goes through it, if you keep clicking through, it will lead you to a free plan, but they don't market
Amazing.
it because
Okay.
they're, I mean,
Nice.
smart, but also annoying, I guess.
Yes, I also thought, Joe, it would be like a 7-day free trial, but this sounds great. I will definitely check it out. I find like SEMrush a bit daunting because there's so information. And so since I'm not an SEO expert, I find like I'm overwhelmed. So I personally use key search.
Yeah, I love key search. My friend Nina Clapperton, who's an SEO expert too, is obsessed with key search. She only started using SEMrush because I wouldn't shut up about it, and she just started using it like a couple months ago, but she's been able to run like a 6-figure blog for an extended period of time just using key search. Key search is like the budget. I mean, I'm giving away everything that is in here, but key search is my favorite budget-friendly option. Always.
Okay.
Keywords
I'll check that
everywhere.
out.
I really love their free plan. I just felt like the credits got used pretty quickly. And
Mm.
I just wanted something a little bit deeper. I have nothing bad to say about keywords everywhere, though. I think that they're really helpful.
I'm at a point with I do a blog, a food blog, and I'm at a point where I'm 76 years old and I just want to maintain what I've got. And then Google screwed up everything in 2023. So I was growing
Helpful
like
content update. Yep.
quite nicely, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I'm down like to 150 views a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
A lot of people got hit with that. A lot of people. And I
Yeah.
will
So
say, Joe, I have a video on my YouTube channel where I was able to interview a woman that went to the Google Business Summit. She was a blogger. She was
mhm.
making $10,000, $12,000 a month from blogging, and she's lucky if she makes $300 a month now. So, because her traffic dropped so drastically, Google invited, I think it was only like 7 people, like to have this intimate sessions with the Google team. And so she was able to find some insights. I was able to interview her over on my YouTube channel if you just want to hear what she had to say about it, and what Google told her in the age of AI. Unfortunately, some people like the rankings might come back, but like with the age of AI, I don't know if they're going to, especially if you were relying on views for money. If you want to make money online, I think it's going into like you're going to have to sell something, sell a service, sell a product, and like kind of tackle the other keywords that aren't just mainly informational ones. Or it's like grow a community, which not every blogger wants to. It's like a lot of people get started blogging because like you don't want to chat with people, you just want to write stuff. Um, and so it's tough. I think that it's tough for content publishers right now, for sure. I will say that my clients are mainly business owners, so they mainly sell services and products, and they're seeing incredible results from SEO still. So I don't know if that's hope or if that's maddening to you. I would probably feel very frustrated, but I am seeing people get like increasingly really good results when they decide to like sell things.
Were you
Yeah, I'm
mainly
just strictly into
monetized, Joe, with
views.
like ads, or did you have any products or anything?
I don't. No, it's just strictly ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm on Mediavine, and
Yeah.
Mm,
I've been with Mediavine for about 7 years, so it's been good, and it was growing like, I'm retired, of course, and I just was such a great extra income,
of
and I was
course.
just kind of relying on that, 4 or 5 thousand a month, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
down to 1,000 a month. But
Yep. It's
anyway,
tough.
Wow. So your advice, Mariah, would kind of be to turn to a product, or what about Pinterest? I mean, I know this isn't a Pinterest AMA, but Pinterest, I feel like food does well on Pinterest. Have
yeah,
you
Food,
tried it out?
I do pretty well on Pinterest every day. So, but
Okay.
even that is slowed down. Um,
It's tough because
Like
people can
anything
just
else.
generate AI content. And so I think what's really going to matter even more is like more personality, more tone, selling things like why people should choose you and like creating a community, even if it's on your newsletter list. Um, I think that that's going to be the only main way because you can't rely on ads
Yeah,
anymore. With the way that like AI, ChatGPT search, Google's new AI mode, we're going to get less traffic. That's just going to be the name of the game. For some, like as a user, I like AI mode in certain instances because for some things, I never needed to jump over to the website. I just needed somebody to answer my question. And so if you're only relying on traffic, that's tough because you're relying on all of this traffic in order to make your money. But as a user, it's like, I don't want to have to sift through information just to find like a one word answer for things. And so you really have to dive deeper into the keywords and kind of developing more of a like a well-rounded SEO strategy than just kind of focusing on like informational and educational stuff.
right. I'm just going through my old posts and making sure it's not, any excess garbage that I put in there years ago, and they, Google just doesn't like that anymore. So just
Nope. And
condensing things.
the interview that I did with Tamiko, she went into that, like basically like exactly what Google says about that.
Yep, yep. So I've got a long way to go, but I just keep plugging away, and hopefully it'll, maintain.
It's the
It's just that,
experiments. SEO
Yeah.
is forever changing and ever evolving, and like I said, that's why I love it.
yeah,
I'm like a researcher, data fanatic, and so being able to like look at this stuff and then like problem solve along the way, I really enjoy it. Um,
yeah.
but it can be frustrating.
I think I'm focusing more on getting subscribers too. So
Yep.
if you've got a subscriber base, at least they're, somewhat interested in what you've got going. So
Well, that's essentially building a community. That's kind of what I
yep,
mean by that. It's like your newsletter list is your community. It's people that care about your recipes or like your blog posts. And then if you have products, those are the people that are going to jump in and buy them. And then the more that you get to know them, the more you get to know their problems. The more you get to know their problems, the more you can offer them solutions.
yep, it's good advice.
Yeah. Are you creating new content at all, or are you just kind of
Not really. No,
okay.
I used to do, three recipes a week or something
Oh,
when I
wow.
got going, and now it got so frustrating that it's like, what
Yep.
should I do, And
Mm-hmm.
so I've just been concentrating on updating old content, and
Yep.
it seems to work. I mean,
It does.
and I get people that say, "Oh man, finally I got a new recipe," so I should be doing that also. So
Sounds like they're waiting for your recipes.
yeah, there you go. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah. Man, it's tricky out there.
Yep.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Mariah, what do you think about zero search volume keywords?
In terms of like them literally showing zero.
Like, are they worth targeting? Like, are the tools ever 100% accurate? Is any keyword really zero? Like, if it
Yeah,
appears in a list, like, what's your what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, so I always say that if the keyword shows up in an SEO tool at all, there has to be some search volume because
Hmm.
otherwise the tools would not pay attention to them. Um, most they say that like most of the queries, most of the keywords, most of the things that are being searched like every day have never been searched before. And we're always coming up with new ways of wording things, and people word things depending on their culture, where they're located, like what how they see the industry, what they're looking for. So my thing when it comes to zero search volume is asking the question, does this very much align with my business? If it does, yeah, target the keyword because also one page or one post can show up for numerous keywords. So you might target like let's say as organic SEO consultant, which it doesn't have zero search volume, but just roll with me on this. So you might target that, but you could show up for organic SEO expert. if you check Google Search Console. So you can show up for synonyms. So that's why having Google Search Console set up is very important, because then we'll able to see what are we actually showing up for, and then we can re-optimize the post based on that. And if we think about where AI and where SEO and everything is going, it's kind of like your entire website is a training manual for AI for your business. So like, yeah, target the word, because then it's allowing the search engines and AI bots to pick up on the patterns. I don't think that it's as cut and dry as some people used to say, in terms of like, nobody's searching for it, don't target it. And it's like, well, if somebody's searching in ChatGPT search, they have a lot more context about their user. And so maybe before, a local restaurant wouldn't want to target like gluten-free Thai restaurant because they didn't think that enough people were searching for it. But now maybe my search bot knows that I only eat gluten-free and I'm located in Buffalo. So it might scan the website and say, oh, this is a Thai restaurant in Buffalo that has gluten-free options. And we know that because they have content about it on their website. Okay, cool. It's going to recommend me that option. Like AI just goes so much deeper into the context, which I
Mhm.
think is why we will get less traffic, but I think that the traffic is going to be more qualified. I think that the conversions are going to be more likely because it is much more specific. So it's a long-winded answer of saying, yeah, you can still target them.
Excellent. Okay. Do you have any tips for like optimizing existing content?
Yeah, so I would say it all depends on the keyword.
Mhm.
Everything, like, that's why I really like talking about keywords, because everything comes back to the keyword. So if you want to optimize existing content, do the keyword research. A, are you showing up for that keyword already? Are you on page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5? Okay, cool. Do the keyword research again. Maybe the data has changed. Is it more competitive now than it used to be? Are there still people searching for it? Does it still feel aligned? Or are you showing up for synonyms? Okay, cool. Maybe you show up for a synonym. Now get the data from it. Ooh, this one feels better. It feels like a bigger gap in the market. And then you can go back into that content and kind of zhuzh it up a little bit, add some stuff, go to AI, go to Google, who is already showing up for that keyword. What are they adding to their page? And I'm not saying to do this to like add more fluff. I'm saying it in terms of like, if the user, like, what is the most helpful coming from a user perspective? Maybe another blog post went into something else. Maybe they want to know a little bit of background or like other bullet points and stuff like that, and keep them updated with examples. Like some blog posts, some YouTube videos that I have to be updated because software changes. I go into software all the time, but like a blog post that I have about a software tool 3 years ago, it's outdated as hell. I got to add new screenshots to things. Things have changed a lot. And so it's like adding new examples, adding new screenshots, maybe embedding a YouTube video or a podcast episode. Google and AI love the multimedia content, images, videos, podcast episodes, because if you think about the way that like users learn, everybody likes to consume content differently. So when you have different kinds of content that people can consume, Google thinks, ah, this might be the perfect solution to everybody's search here because you have different content. So yeah, go back in and update that stuff. I'll tell my business clients, I'm like, you don't have to create a new blog post every single week or every single month for the rest of your existence of life. Like, go back into the stuff that you created last year and update it. Zhuzh it up a little bit. Use Link Whisper to add new internal links. Like, a lot of the times we'll publish and we'll ghost, and that's not very helpful. We want to keep the momentum going.
Mhm. Yeah, speaking of like, multiple formats, Joe, do you have videos of your recipes by chance?
I just have some. I haven't done a whole lot, and that's
Mhm.
another thing that I should probably be doing more. And I just haven't. It's just one more step that you've got to do.
It sure is.
I'm a one
One man
man
show.
guy here, so it's
Yep.
like just
Totally.
another thing. What I've been doing is I'm searching, going into Google Search Console and looking at the queries and seeing where my traffic is coming from with these queries. And if there's a a certain keyword that has like 30,000 searches a month, and I'm only getting 100 views, I better update that blog post and
Yep.
see what other people are putting in their posts, and kind of um, seeing why I'm not getting the traffic I should be.
Yep,
So,
exactly. It's the right way to think about it.
but it's, yeah, it's a good tool to use, updating.
Yep.
Hmm. So speaking of YouTube, is like keyword selection and search intent the same on YouTube, or is it slightly different?
It depends on the keyword. Sometimes
Okay.
it's the same, sometimes it can be different. So like if you want to do a YouTube video, you can go and search YouTube to see what's showing up. You can also search Google and see if YouTube videos are showing up on page one. With the new AI mode, it's strange to me. They're going to have to update this, but YouTube videos haven't been showing up too often in AI mode, but that's actually what I like about the newest option of Google search. So it's interesting because they've been developing Google search in the way that we know it for how many years? Decades. So it's going to be interesting. I think that AI mode, when it rolls out, it's definitely not going to be the final version. But it all comes down to intent. So I would say if you want to create a YouTube video, go to YouTube and search for it.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. That's good advice. I have a question. Do you think it makes sense for someone to start a blog now?
It depends. My question is what's the point of the blog? Do you know what I mean? Is it just to like publish your thoughts or is it just to get AdSense? Like if it's just to get AdSense, we're going to have to think deeper than that. Like
Okay.
we're going to have a different purpose. If the blog is there to create community, cool, that's a purpose. If the blog is there to build your newsletter, that's a purpose. But I'm finding that my clients that have a product or have a service are getting the best results and the blogs still make sense. Actually, I haven't prioritized blog posts in about 3 years because I've been so focused on YouTube. But now in 2025, I'm refocusing on my blog, which surprises people because they're like, what do you mean? Aren't blogs dead? No, blogs are not dead. It's giving, if your website is the training manual for your business for AI, blog posts literally can train these so that they understand your business and your perspective on a deeper lens. I also love using blog posts when I'm working with clients and students. I see them as like resource guides. People ask me questions in the DMs all the time or in YouTube video comments all the time. If I have a blog post, I just pop it in there. And that blog post is now doing my selling for me. So it's like, I love it for like creating thought leadership. It's also incredible if you want to get featured in places, if you want to get asked to be on podcasts or in situations like this, like be a guest expert, people want to know who you are, why you're different, and what your perspective is. So it's like, if you want to be an expert and be known as an expert, I think that you should have a blog or a podcast or a YouTube, some form of long form content so we can literally like munch on your knowledge and then know if you're the right one for us.
Okay. So you absolutely have to think beyond just ads. You have to have
Yes.
a multi-pronged strategy for sure.
Yep.
Okay. That's interesting. I also wanted to ask about the keyword difficulty score.
Yeah.
There's like, would you say like when your domain authority is above a certain number, then you can target a keyword of a certain difficulty? Is that like theory still stands, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So it still stands today. I don't know how long it will stand moving forward because domain authority used to be the like number one thing to build trust and credibility. But now with AI, it's becoming domain authority still comes into play, but it's becoming brand authority. So even if you're mentioned across the web and there isn't a backlink, the search engines are noticing, oh, Mariah Magazine was mentioned over here. The AI bots are noticing Mariah was mentioned over here, even if they're not linking back to my website. Or it's like my social media can come into play. Oh, I have almost 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. That comes into my authority. So it's no longer so siloed. And I think what also comes into play is your topical authority, your expertise. Do you have blog posts? Do you have podcast videos? Like, can we munch on if you know what you're talking about? So that is becoming more increasingly important. Some people, my clients, are stressed out about it because they're just like, well, what the hell? Like now I have to like juggle like a social media platform and I have to like juggle all of these things. To me, I go, what a gift. I've been having to do all this stuff the whole time anyways. Now it's finally being like being paid attention to from these AI bots and these search bots because before like search didn't really care about your Instagram, didn't really care about your Pinterest too much. It would drive traffic and then it cared, but like it didn't really matter. And so I would say that's where it's going. And so knowing that domain authority, it's tricky. I would say if you have less than like, I have some clients that are starting off at like a 2. If that's the case, try to find a green one. Try to
Mhm.
find a domain authority of under 30 if you really want to show up for that. But if you find a keyword and you're like online business coach for entrepreneurs, and like, let's say that's red, and you're just like, well, there's no point in targeting it. Well, wait, aren't you the perfect solution to that problem? And don't you want to build up topical authority on that? So we're just going to ignore that keyword, even though it's literally the most logical like fit for this, but you're going to ignore it because the keyword difficulty feels too high even though topical authority comes into play? To me, I say
Mhm.
that doesn't make any sense. So
Mhm.
yes, still target it, but don't expect to rank on page 1 tomorrow. It's those green ones, those easier to rank for. You can usually expect to get results sooner, but those big ones, those more competitive ones, can still build up brand authority, topical authority. Like they still have a play in the SEO realm.
Okay. So you have to target what makes sense.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Like
essentially.
if you don't know your audience, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
you have to get to know your people.
Okay. Are you using social media at all, Joe? Are you on Insta?
Um, I hate Instagram. I should be more onto Instagram, but I just hate the way it, I don't know, the whole thing. I look at Instagram about twice a month. So I'm more into Pinterest, and that seems to, be what I'm doing. And I don't have much on Facebook. It's just, friends,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Facebook doesn't show it to hardly anybody anyway. What?
Facebook and Instagram are like the hardest, in my opinion, in terms of the algorithm. Instagram used to be my favorite place. I still love it for the DMs and like an easy way for me to connect with people.
Mhm.
Um, but Threads has been incredible. It's still small enough to where people are literally like ride or die community over there. I checked my analytics last month. I had more search traffic from Threads than I did Instagram, which was wild to me. That has never happened before. And Threads is really just like hanging out with friends. And the algorithm isn't too in depth and it's not too saturated with ads and everything yet. And it might be an easy place to literally just be like, I don't know, let's say you're making like a granola recipe. And it's just like, hey, I'm really excited about the granola recipe that I made with maple syrup. You could literally just post that. And people are like, oh my God, I love granola with maple syrup. What's the link? People are
Oh,
so
that's
supportive on
interesting.
there that it's like it's bananas.
I'll have to look at that. I've heard of it, but I've never really looked at it.
It's
That's good.
fun. I mean, for
That
me, sometimes and like
that's
sometimes
interesting.
like I don't have a really in-depth strategy. I literally just post whenever I want. So sometimes I'll post once a week, sometimes I'll post 4 times a day, sometimes I won't post for 3 weeks. It doesn't really matter. Things are still kind of showing up.
Hmm. That was under my radar, but I will also check that out. That's super
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it
Cool.
is really interesting. It's people just like sharing thoughts in a way where like you don't have to get the like a picture or like a video or anything. You can post like pictures, but I just got married a couple weeks ago and I just posted pictures of our elopement. We got married in our living room. And so I created like this like flower thing on the wall and like we have some really cute pictures. And so I literally just posted like, hey, got married yesterday, the elopement, we got married in our living room. It was everything that I wanted, yada yada yada. Posted a couple photos. 1.5 thousand people liked it. I was like, it's literally just photos and me talking. And people were like, oh my God, I love this, blah, 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 blah. So it's like, Joe, if you have photos of food that looks good, the people want to see it. If you want to talk about like the granola or like the chicken pot pie recipe that you're making, people want to see it. Like it's also like I'm in the kind of like busy moms. I don't have kids yet, but like a lot of my clients are busy moms. They're always looking for like quick crock pot recipes. Hey, like or hey, I'm trying to like eat healthier. Anybody have any recipes that they love? Like it's just a really good community platform.
Nice.
That's really interesting. It goes by channels, it goes by topics.
Sometimes
Okay.
like I don't even know how to use it the right way. I just like post into the ether and people see it.
Okay.
I think that you can add it to like a channel and then you can search, like there's search features on there too. But also like you can see like when you reply on somebody's, that can help that one show up and then you show up and people find you from your replies on other people's threads. It's like old school Twitter before it
Mhm.
got like completely too busy.
Interesting. All right,
Yeah.
something to think about. Definitely. Joe, do you have any more questions for Mariah since you have her here?
I can't think of anything, but it's been great having this opportunity to hear what you've got for us. So it's just keep plugging away, I guess.
Yeah, essentially. Thanks so much
Yeah,
for coming. Thanks so
yeah,
much for asking good questions.
yeah. Thanks, Joe. Good luck with your food blog.
Yeah,
Keep us
thank you.
posted. Definitely. Thank you so much, Mariah. I really appreciate it. This was really interesting, and super helpful. And I'm excited to share it with the Link Whisper community and beyond on YouTube. And yeah, it's been great being able to pick your brain. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Excellent. All right. Well, we'll be in touch. We'll see if we can do any other collabs in the future.
Yeah, that would be fun. Okay, cool. Talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.